Whether you're in crypto or you're not in crypto, you've probably heard about the FTX fallout, the meltdown, the firefest, whatever adjective or way you want to describe it. It has been a disaster. And it has probably set back the cryptocurrency industry, at least as far as FUD goes, fear, uncertainty, or doubt, at least as far as that narrative goes, for a long time. So today, I would like to share with you the lessons that I've learned from losing crypto in the FTX meltdown. So hopefully you can learn from them and not lose crypto as well. I'm Jarrett Carpenter, and this is More Than Blockchain. Before we jump into this episode and I share with you the 6 lessons that I've learned from losing money in the FTX meltdown, I want to touch back on something that I mentioned in the intro, which is that I have never had, or will ever have, any funds on FTX. Since it came out, it was kind of like a shiny object. It offered a lot of yield and it had some red flags. And I'm going to go through some of those lessons that I've learned, which were things that I kind of knew. Because I think what anyone who lost money in FTX probably realizes is that the things we need to worry about in life aren't the things that we don't know. They're the things that we know to be true that we ignore, right? So with that, I want to share a little bit, but I wanted to make it really clear that I actually did not have funds on FTX. I had funds on BlockFi. BlockFi is another centralized exchange that I'll talk about a little bit throughout this episode, but FTX basically bailed out BlockFi in this past fall. So the second FTX fell, BlockFi was just part of the dominoes, and these dominoes are still falling. So even as you listen to this, think about some of the lessons that I'm sharing with you and the lessons I've learned, just some tips on what to look out when thinking about if you want to keep your crypto on centralized exchanges and red flags. So 6 lessons I've learned. Number 1, this is the most basic lesson, and it's a lesson I know. Now, I had kept money on BlockFi because I was earning yield. But in the end, earning yield is not as important as having ownership over your coins. And the amount of money that I've lost on BlockFi, I may get back. This is the other thing. I may get back because it was a bankruptcy. But number 1 is a super simple tenet of crypto, and you can reach out to me and I will preach this forever. This is definitely something I'm now living on, even though I've known it to be true. So once again, it wasn't something I couldn't see happening. This was something that I knew to be true, but I was just kind of ignoring, thinking, oh, this wouldn't happen to BlockFi. And I'll finally get to the number 1, and that is not your keys, not your coins. The whole idea behind cryptocurrency is that you have total control over your economic energy. And when you leave it on a centralized exchange, when that centralized exchange goes bankrupt, as BlockFi did, as FTX has, you are going to lose all your funds. It's the same way in traditional finance. You have a bank, and let's live in the world where it's not FDIC certified, basically FDIC certified or backed up by the government. You're putting your money in the bank and that bank just disappears overnight. Well, then all your money's gone. So with crypto, not your keys, not your coins, you want to make sure you keep your crypto either in a software wallet or in a hardware wallet, a cold storage wallet, off of an exchange, and make sure that you own the keys to your coins. Because if you don't, NYK, NYC, not your keys, not your coins. So that's number 1. Number 2, I'm becoming super, super weary of centralized exchanges that invest a lot of their money into marketing with big name celebs. Tom Brady was tied into this, the former Patriot, current Tampa Bay Buccaneer quarterback. His wife, Giselle, many other famous people were kind of waving the FTX flag, especially in 2020 and 2021 when crypto was exploding. And everyone was basically asking, okay, I want to get into crypto. Where can I get it? And then they see someone like Tom Brady. He has the social currency. They're like, okay, that guy's real. I feel like I'm going to trust him. I'm going to go put my money in here. So moving forward, I think it's really, really shady if there's a centralized exchange that's going to use basically popular icons or sports icons or cultural icons to basically get people to hop on their exchange so then they can make money off of their exchange fees. So that's number 2. And the other thing when I was thinking about this was the same thing happened with Firefest. When Firefest went down in 2017, 2018, I believe, there were all of these high net worth models, high value models that got tied in. I think the biggest one or an influencer was Kylie Jenner, who had done a post for $250,000, basically creating social currency so that way other people thought Firefest was real. When I was thinking about this number 2 and Tom Brady and Giselle, I thought about that. So in the future, if you see something that's tied to money and you're being pulled in because someone you follow on social media or someone you know is saying to do it, and they are not into the thing that they're promoting, crypto in this example, or financial products, I'd stay away from it. Number 3, be super wary of centralized exchanges that have their own token. We saw what happened with Terra Luna. Now we see what happened with FTX. And this is even making me think now more critically about Binance. Binance has its own token. It has its BNB chain. That's another one. When they have their own token, they can inflate the value of these tokens. So that is something where they can do stuff behind the scenes that in real time, you're like, oh, this token's going up. I'm going to FOMO in. I'm going to buy more. Well, this happened with Terra Luna and it's now happened with FTT. So that's number 3. Number 4, beware of centralized exchanges whose main driver is yield. That is why I put funds into BlockFi, because I was able to get 6 to 7% yield on my Ethereum, a little bit less on my Bitcoin, a little bit more on my Litecoin, and I was getting about 9% annual interest APY on stablecoins. So from now on, I'm super wary of centralized exchanges whose main driver is yield. That's number 4. Number 5, beware of centralized exchanges that don't allow you to withdraw your crypto immediately, i.e., they have some type of probation period when withdrawing. When you withdraw on BlockFi, even before they went bankrupt, there would be this little screen that would pop up and say, thank you for withdrawing your funds. We have a 48-hour window where we will do, we're basically going to check your account. Now, I understand why they do it. Like, I understand the why. They're doing it to see if you've taken out a loan with crypto, and then you're trying to take out more crypto than the value of the loan, or you're taking out the collateral on the loan. I totally understand why they do it, but because they have to do that check for every single person that withdraws crypto, it creates this really weird window where in the end, even before BlockFi had said that they were bankrupt, they didn't allow me to take the funds off the exchange. So the second that I saw that FTX went down, I took about 90% or 80 to 90% of my funds off BlockFi, but I left about 10%. And this is the 10% that has been lost. And maybe I'll get back in bankruptcy, but I wasn't able to get this money off. And in the time that they had posted, hey, we're not letting any more withdrawals happen, that happened within their 48-hour window where they want to, quote unquote, I'm throwing air quotes, check to see if you have any outstanding debts or if you're taking off collateral that they need for a loan. They basically squashed it. So moving forward, if I want to move money off a centralized exchange, as I did recently with Coinbase and Binance, I want to be able to put in the new wallet address I want to send it to, hit the button that says send, put in my 2FA for my email or my cell phone or my Google Authenticator, authenticate that it is me who's sending it, and then I want it to be sent. And the only time it should take is the amount of time it takes on the network to approve and confirm that the transaction has happened. So that's number 5. Beware of any centralized exchanges that don't allow you to withdraw your crypto immediately, i.e., have a probation period when withdrawing. Finally, number 6, beware of any centralized exchange that isn't brutally transparent about their financials. Currently, the 2 biggest exchanges, at least for people that invest in crypto stateside in the United States, are Binance and Coinbase. And Binance, back around 2018, 2019, or even 2020, created something called Binance.us, which is a completely different centralized exchange and offers different cryptocurrencies and tokens than it does on Binance.com. If you were outside of the United States, you're using Binance.com. If you're within the United States, you're using Binance.us, and that is because Binance wanted to start to play well with regulators. So all cryptocurrency exchanges are coming out now, including Binance, and starting to say, look, this is the amount of money we have in our reserves. This is the amount of money we have for clients' money. In the event that all clients want to take their money, they're not going to be told that they can't, right? The other one is Coinbase. Because Coinbase is a publicly traded company, they have to show quarterly their entire books. They have to be uber transparent. And so moving forward, I'm only going to be dealing with centralized exchanges that are radically transparent about their holdings, their funds, their entire financial well-being, the health of their company, because that was not the case with FTX, and clearly BlockFi had problems in the past. Okay, so there are my 6. I hope that they help you. And as you move forward, please keep them in mind. And if you ever want to reach out and ask me a question about what cryptocurrency exchanges to use or not to use, or any questions on cold storage, please reach out. I'm definitely here to help, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again for listening to this episode, and be sure to follow us on social media at More Than Blockchain. And if you don't already, please go ahead and follow us on YouTube at More Than Blockchain. Starting in 2023, we're going to be doing a new show there. It's going to be very exciting. Like I said, if you want to reach out, please reach out to me. Go to morethanblockchain.xyz. There's information there on how to contact me. And I think understanding cryptocurrency is a lifelong process. No one is an expert. I myself am not an expert. I'm just have a little bit more experience than other people. And as my buddy Eddie says, experience simply just means I've made more mistakes. So I wanted to be uber transparent with this episode, and I hope you learned something from it. If you enjoyed this and you learned something and you want to share it with a friend, go ahead and text, email, DM them this episode's link. And thanks again for checking out More Than Blockchain. Follow us wherever you're listening to this podcast, and I'll see you next time.